Andy XL back with another NFXL podcast, and I've been going through all 32 teams really to discuss what possibilities they've got for next season. So I covered the top 11 who all made the postseason last time around. But here are my four teams that didn't make the postseason last season, but have the best chance of making a good run at things next season. And let's start with the Dallas Cowboys. Now, dynamic offense, but a dire defense that was improved at the trade deadline, but was still short of the required levels, pretty much sums up the Cowboys' 25 season. So, can they keep that high powered offense going and upgrade the defense in order to challenge the Eagles and maybe more? As was the off-season question the Cowboys needed to answer. Defensive tackle Oza Odigizua was traded to the 49ers, and inside linebacker Kenneth Murray and edge Jadeveon Clowney have not been re-signed. And another edge veteran, Dante Fowler, has left via free agency. Those four have been replaced by Otito Ogbonia, Jonathan Bullard, Rashan Gary, D. Winters, either via free agency or trade. Other free agents additions in their secondary were Jalen Thompson, Kobe Durant, and PJ Locke. Then the Cowboys drafted Caleb Downs and Malachi Lawrence in the first round of the draft and kept going by adding Jyshawn Barham, LT Overton, and Devin Moore to complete work that should see a significant and crucial upgrade to that defense. It may take a few weeks for all those newbies to become a fully functional unit, but once it does, their 29th ranked defense of last season could well transform into a top half, maybe even top 10 unit in 2026. They ranked fourth for pass offense and 10th for run offense last season, and that unit remains pretty much identical in personnel from last season. So there's no reason it should not rank similarly next season. All of which makes the Cowboys a potential top 10 team in 2026, and that should mean they're a real threat to the Eagles in the NFC East, and maybe more come the postseason. Next to the four teams I'm looking at, who didn't make the postseason last season but could be a danger next season, are the Detroit Lions. Defensive weaknesses caused the Lions to slip to a 9-8 record and lose their grip on the NFC North last season. Now they find themselves in a division where all four teams look likely to be good or very good teams next season. So, what have the Lions done this off-season to get back on top in their division, firstly, and then to make a deep postseason run? Well, the notable outgoings first were running back David Montgomery, linebacker Alex Anzalone, edge Al Qadim Mohammed, defensive tackles DJ Reader and Roy Lopez, and cornerback Amik Robertson. Isaiah Pacheco comes in to replace Montgomery as the partner to Jahmyr Gibbs at running back, but we're likely to see an uptick in Gibbs' output as a result, I think. That puts a real onus on Tyleik Williams and Alim McNeil and Levi Onwuzurike, who is coming back from an ACL injury, to cover off the losses at defensive tackle. Peyton Turner and DJ Wonnum were added to replace Mohammed on the edge, and Damon Clark in Anzalone's position. Roger McCreary, Chuck Clark, and Christian Azien have been added to the secondary that missed Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch, I should say, for significant chunks of last season due to injury. Cade Mays at centre is a major addition for the Lions, as they really struggled to replace Frank Ragnow last season. They also spent their first round draft pick on an offensive tackle, Blake Miller, so their O line that also took a step back last season should be much better in 2026. After Miller in the first round, edge Derek Moore was their second round pick. Jimmy Rolder at inside linebacker and Keith Abney at cornerback were other good additions in rounds 4 and 5. But Cade Mays at centre and a return to full health for Branch and Joseph may be the best news for the Lions that looks likely to push them into double-digit win territory and in with a real chance of getting their divisional title back. And as long as they make the postseason, they still shape like a team that is, at its best, can beat anybody. Moving on then, the next team up, the Kansas City Chiefs. You were waiting for them. Many will point to Patrick Mahomes' injury as the reason for the Chiefs' demise last season, but that was the final piece of a crumbling wall to fail for KC. And they come into this season with plenty of work to do. Sorry, they came into this off-season with plenty of work to do. Losing both starting cornerbacks Jalen Watson and Trent McDuffie from last season to free agency gave them even more work to do. Safety Brian Cook and linebacker Leo Chanel also left via free agency. leaving somewhat of a defensive rebuild required, particularly in the secondary. Whilst on offence, running backs Isaiah Pacheco, who's already been mentioned, and Kareem Hunt, wide receiver Hollywood Brown, and offensive tackle Jawan Taylor also left via free agency. Super Bowl MVP Kenneth Walker and draftee Emmett Johnson replaced Pacheco and Hunt at running back, and that should be a distinct upgrade. While there will hope a full season from Rashee Rice offsets the loss of Brown at wide receiver. But Taylor has not been replaced at tackle. On defense, Kairi Tonga at defensive tackle, Alohi Gilman, Kader Kahu, and Kair Elam were added to the secondary via free agency. In the draft, Peter Woods in round one on the D line, R. Mason in round two to go with the Tonga should upgrade that D line in a good deal. Mansour Delaney was their first round pick at cornerback, and Jaden Kennedy were added to try and make up for the free agency losses in the secondary. Obviously, getting Mahomes back to full health and full speed is going to be crucial for the Chiefs. But even so, the pass offense that was ranked 18th last season does not look likely to improve greatly. Excuse me. But their run offense should rank much higher than the 21st position of last season. Quick time for a quick drink. On defense, the improved D line might help them improve on being the 11th ranked run defense last season. But the losses of the two cornerbacks and Brian Cook do not look likely to be offset by the additions made. Add in the transitional nature of that secondary, and they may well drop markedly from being the 8th ranked pass defense last season. In a division that contains two of my three favourites to win it all next season, the Chargers and Broncos, that could make life tough for the Chiefs in 2026 in their division. Although any team with Mahomes, Reeds, and Steve Spagnuolo has a chance, and they are likely to be a team that improves as the season progresses. So as long as they can stay around 500 for the first half of the season, they could well make a late season run for a wild card spot. And like the Lions, once they're in there, the postseason, they could be a danger to all. And the final of the four teams that didn't make the postseason last season, but I think could be a danger next season, are the Washington Commanders. Now, on the face of it, a team that ranked 25th for pass offense, 25th for run defense, and 28th for pass defense should not be fancied to make a challenge the following season. But the Commanders only had star quarterback Jaden Daniels for 7 games last season, and their top wide receiver Terry McLaurin for 10 games. So those two back for 2026 should rank close to the 13th ranked pass offense that they had in 2024, rather than the 25th they were last season. On defense, Will Harris, Trey Amos, and Dorrance Armstrong missed 25 games between them, which would have hurt their pass defense badly. They ranked 9th for pass defense as opposed to 28th the year before. Run defense has been an issue for the last 2 seasons, though. Whilst behind a strong O line, their run line has been top 5 ranked in that time. Losing Tyler Biodash from the heart of that O line to free agency will hurt them plenty. Wide receiver Deebo Samuel, running back Chris Rodriguez were others to leave this offseason, and Zach Ertz has not been retained either. On defense, Jake Martin and Von Miller were the most significant departures. Biodash leaves a huge question over their O-line. Rashad White via free agency and Kaytron Allen via the draft probably make them better equipped at running back, though. Chig Okonkwo looks like an upgrade on Zach Ertz at tight end, as is the addition of Antonio Williams in the draft and Dyami Brown via free agency at wide receiver to give much needed support for Terry McLaurin now that Deebo Samuel has left. On defense, Charles Omenihu, Tim Settle, Adafe Owe, Leo Chanel, Kalavon Chason, Nick Cross, Amik Robinson, and Akello Witherspoon were all strong additions and look likely to upgrade the Commanders' defense across the board. They also drafted Sonny Styles in the first round of the draft, which is a real quality addition for them. Keep their main man healthy, and they will instantly add 4 or 5 wins to the 5 they got last season. Then the additions, particularly on defense, they have made could add to that total, making them another major threat to the Eagles in that division, and maybe even more than that should they make the postseason. That NFC East is going to be tough to win this year. The doubts are the O-line without Biodash and how much they can improve that run defense. But I see the Commanders as another team that could make a serious push, having not made the postseason last time around. So there you go, roughly 10 minutes, four teams covered. Next piece will come to 17 teams that I think could make the postseason next season, but that's probably the limit of their ambitions. So I'll come back with that piece soon. See you later.